share with that younger self, I would sort of say, listen, it all sort of came into focus for me when I started working, and then I realized so many of the things that I was learning in school actually informed what I did and helped what I did. So I would actually try and tell myself, listen, treat this like a job and get the most out of the education.
Yep.
Because again, the piece of paper doesn't really matter, but I think a lot of the time I wish I'd have gotten more out of my education just for myself. There were opportunities that I just didn't take advantage of because I didn't see the value, or I didn't see where it was going as directly as a paycheck.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be the thing I would try and tell myself. I might have to shake myself a little bit to hear it, you know, smack myself around, but you know, I try and get that into my thick skull.
I can totally relate with that. I've dealt with the same things. Before I comment on that though, before I go any further, I didn't properly introduce you. All I
Sure.
said was Jamie. Jamie Mark.
You don't think that's enough for people? They don't know me? You don't know me?
You're already worldwide. But for the 5% that don't know you, Jamie owns the M Agency. They produce the local magazine here in Winter Garden, and I'll turn it over to you to give a little shout out to yourself.
Okay.
We're not really doing a business promotion here, but
sure.
who are you and what do you do?
Well, without getting into too much, we're a full service ad agency with a big focus on branding. So, in other words, we don't do the click funnel stuff that annoys people. We do the stuff that makes people aware of you, makes people remember you, and makes people like you. So that's our main thing. And then the local is our little side project that, quite frankly, is
Pretty
taken
big
over.
side project.
Yeah. A lot of people know us more for that these days.
Because if I was gonna say Jamie, I would say the local probably before M Agency. And that's no offense.
That's
to
fair.
anything. That's just how I know you.
That's just
So
listen, that there are worse ways to follow my name, right?
yeah. So
But then there'd be cursing.
the other part of this that I didn't really bring up is I'm definitely gonna have different business owners, business types, spiritual leaders, not religious, but just all different kinds of people. And we're not here to promote our business or sell anything to anybody. I just want to make that clear. So, outside of that, we do need to know who you are and know that you
Where's
know
our
what you're
theme music?
talking about. I know.
Man, I feel like we missed something here. What's the theme music?
Well, I have my little side pouch here that holds my my JBL speaker, but it would probably be hard to talk over. But I do like that. That's a good idea.
That's fair.
So let me go back to what you were talking about.
Sure.
Going back to tell your future. Like, dude, I suffer or I'm punished by the same thing. I went straight to work. I started college. I did a couple years at a community college, and I was just like, what is all this for? I can go out here, and I had great opportunities. I started making great money young, and that's what I saw was, well, I can do this. I don't need the education. Well, I was clearly wrong. And I like what you said about the paper doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Right? You can have a degree in XYZ, ABC, a doctorate, a PhD. If you don't retain and apply the knowledge that you've learned, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. I know people that got very prestigious degrees from very prestigious schools that are complete idiots. So that's why I said the paper doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
You can go to a great school and get a bad education. You can go to a crappy school and get a great education.
Right.
It really is how you approach it, and that's kind of why I put it on myself. Like, I didn't have that right frame of mind to get a great education.
I'm really digging all these rollerbladers, dude. I haven't seen rollerblading like that since like the mid-90s, early to mid-90s. It's trying to help you. Like, I don't even know why, but I would reject
Well-
and refuse to help because I wanted to do it myself.
So-
I know better.
I got some good perspective on that, being the father of a 20-year-old.
Right.
Right. So there's a million things we could say to our kids or to younger people, but there's a reality, and if we can remember back to when we were their
Yeah.
age,
Yeah.
they can only hear so much,
Right.
and some of it they're better off even figuring it out on their own. So
Yeah,
we can just
true.
we can sort of say some things,
Yep.
but we
Plant a
can't.
seed.
But we really can't be mad if they can't hear us
No.
right now, and we just gotta let it sink in,
Yeah.
and eventually it'll make sense. Because again, we were the same way. We could only hear so much at that age, and we had to come to it on our own terms.
Yeah.
And so I take that approach sometimes, where I'll say some things to my own son, not because I think he's going to listen right away, but because I think eventually it'll make sense. And
Yeah.
and if he doesn't listen right away, or he does things differently than I'm hoping, that doesn't make me angry. It's just, again, I remember.
Yeah.
And when I'm being a good parent, it's totally cool, and you just hope it doesn't cost them things that they're trying to, make sure that they
Yeah.
don't suffer from. But that's it. I mean, I like to mentor. I like to give that advice when where appropriate. But the way they take it or don't take it, I just try not to assign anything to that.
Yeah, excuse me. One thing I distinctly remember, and another reason I like getting this out there is, I had great parents, no complaints. Everybody has their faults, but at the end of the day, they're my parents, right?
Right.
And they did the best job that they could, and they tried to teach me this, that, and the other, and I was very stubborn and hard-headed.
You?
But
Come on now.
But as soon as somebody else that I looked up to or looked at in a different light would tell me the same exact thing, it would
Yep.
click.
I know.
And they're looking at me like, what is wrong with you?
I know I did that too, and I've seen my son do that. I'll say something a few times, and, he's like, oh, it blows me off, but somebody else says it.
Yep.
He's like, what a great idea.
So I like to
No
get
problem.
that stuff out there. So maybe we reach that one person. If we help one person
Yeah.
and have something click from each video, we did our
Sure.
job.
Okay.
So I really like this project.
Fun.
I like to change things up when things get stale. Just going and rucking by yourself. It's hard for me right now. I have a very busy schedule, and getting out with the groups has eluded me lately.
Yeah.
So this is.
I noticed.
Well, work and child comes first.
I was totally taking it personally, though.
I know. Good and make the point, right?
Sure. So I'll start with this. First of all, there was a mistake to make. I've made it. I never have a problem making a mistake. We learn from them. So, it's not about being perfect. It's about not making the same mistake again and again and again. So, one of the big ones for me in business was trusting people I shouldn't have trusted, maybe. And so I had some partners, and there were some red flags for years, but again, I just generally went with my gut and trusted them, until I found out there was reason not to trust them.
Yeah.
And I could say more, but I don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
But basically, about 6.5 years ago, broke away from my company and took 5 of my people with me to start M Agency. But it was not really that would be, many people might feel like that's like, but that was a mistake I made, and apparently a lot of people make. Also, the addendum to that is, I thought, well, they were doing shady stuff, they were lying, there was proof in the books, so like, I can definitely be made whole, get my money, do all that. I was like, justice is on my side, and that would be another mistake, because what I came to find out in the process is that the law has nothing to do with justice. It just has to do with who's willing to play that game a little bit more so. And even the attorneys that I then spent tens of thousands of dollars on afterwards, they would have kept going, and I would have probably financed their next, BMW or something. But, the reality is I could have spent a lot more money. Everybody told me I would get the judgment, but then an attorney that I trusted that wasn't involved in this but was a friend said, yeah, but what's going to happen is after you win the judgment, then they're going to appeal it, and then you're going to have to spend tens of thousands of dollars more money, and they appeal, and then even if you win that, there's a very high likelihood that they'll just claim bankruptcy, and you'll never actually see the money. If you need to do it because of a sense of right and wrong, great, but don't think you're ever going to be made whole. So the law is not about justice. How's that for a sad lesson?
Hey,
to learn?
that's stuff we need to know.
Yeah, it really.
We need to hear the real deal, the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
I've left companies that I've made really good money at for that exact purpose. I've seen stuff that was going on. I addressed it. I didn't like what was happening. It didn't change. Once I finally accepted that it wasn't going to change, and accepted the fact that I couldn't change anybody that was working there, especially the owners, once I had that realization, I made a move. I made a change.
Yep.
And not always to my benefit,
Yeah.
I've had to start over, but for me, doing things with integrity, not just in business, but in life, that's the longevity, right?
So
we want instant gratification, and we can cheat, rob, lie, cheat, and steal to get that BMW or whatever, but eventually, you're going to get found out.
So those people like you, right, that think about integrity and think about looking at themselves in the mirror about these business decisions. These are the kind of people I gravitate to, especially these days, and try and surround myself with. That does not make us good business people, by the way.
Right.
And actually,
clearly,
yeah,
for me,
there's many instances where we could make more money, probably be bigger deals and whatever if we were willing to do that. But honestly, that money's not the motivator for most of these people. You got to make money, and you want to make money, and you certainly would like to make more of it. But the reality is that there's something better than money. There's a paycheck that doesn't go in the bank when you've done your best for your clients, and that you've done great work. Like everybody on my team at M, I want them to take pride in what they're doing, and I want them to care about what they're doing. And if we have to spend extra time, maybe that we are not even getting paid for, we do that. And that's not a great business decision, but it is a great decision, for us as people. So
I think in the long term, it is a good business decision, because the people that understand that and recognize it, those are the ones you're going to build the long-lasting relationships with. And it might not happen today.
That's very true, though.
But it might happen in 6 months or a year or whatever, or when you need it most, that person's going to come through.
Yeah.
If I have a big project going on, or I'm spending a lot of money on a home improvement, or buying a car, whatever it is, I'm going to go to the person that I trust and have a relationship with. So I think in the long run, like I was saying, and I just want to be very, very clear, I don't even know if I need to say it, but I'm going to. Like, I had to learn a lot of this stuff. Like, when I was younger, dreams if you're not behaving and acting like the person of your dreams?
That's pretty good advice.
And I was like, dude, how come nobody ever told me this?
Yeah. No, that's. Listen, you sort of touched on this, that that partner in life is everything, and you could be that dream person, and if you choose the wrong person, that's still gonna not have a good ending. You both got to kind of be there.
Yep.
And you got to have some baselines of this is the commitment, because life is long, and you will go through periods of time where it won't be good. Sometimes when you're young and you're together, it's all new and exciting, and
Yep.
lots of sexy time and all that. But as the relationship goes on, life happens, and you get distracted.
Kids get
And
involved.
kids, and so what happens is you kind of have this dangerous time where you've basically taken each other for granted a little bit,
Yep.
and you're focused on other things, and that's where a lot of people go wrong, because it's hard to find your way back to each other. But
Yeah.
you find the right partner, and I think you can ride anything out if you have the right partner and the right attitude towards it. And it takes work.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, probably a lot of luck too.
Yeah.
So I think, but ultimately, if the right partner is not there to be with you when you're at your best, but is somebody that you're going to have with you when you're at your worst. And like I said, it takes some luck to find that person. I think I did.
And I also like to take that same advice from my mentor, counselor, therapist, all of the above, that gave me that advice, and apply that to people I do business with, to friends that I make, to family I keep around. Like I had to learn that just because somebody's blood, that doesn't mean they need to be involved in your everyday life, because they're toxic and they can bring you down, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like that was a hard one for me to swallow. If you have family that's doing things that don't fit your agenda, they're still your family,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That doesn't mean you have to sabotage yourself or sacrifice yourself to make them happy or to appease them, and that's okay.
Right.
Oh man,
Yeah, you went down a rabbit hole.
I
there.
know, but that's
You need a hug?
I do. I need a hug.
No. Yeah.
But these are things I have to constantly live by, right? Because I have a built-in forgetter. I think all of us do, and we don't realize that. So if we don't stay on top of that, we can make some really bad choices real quick.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to stay focused in the solution and not in the problems, and that's why I like to talk about these things.
I think it's helpful.
Hold on, I got it. I think, yeah. Anyway, so some of the red flags, man.
Well, so some of the things I'm being mentored on right now.
Right. Wait a
Are-
second.
Yeah.
You have a mentor?
I have a mentor. Of course, we all need
I
that.
thought you were
did with it in my mind. So that's a wasted day. If you got up and you actually made something happen, whatever that is, it could be, you know, I made something profound that's going to change the world, or I did something that brought a giggle to my to somebody, and we just had a good laugh about it. I mean, those are, you should have one moment every day that you're like, that was what made today worth it.
Have a win every day.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I'm glad we came out here. I'm glad you texted me back last night and set this up.
Absolutely.
I started it in motion and Jamie followed through, baby.